So I come from a family of entrepreneurs, kind of a crazy family. Like my dad like grew up in Alaska, right? He was up there doing business years ago. He started a few random businesses across the country. He took our family to South Africa at one point, and I literally spent some of my childhood. My sister was born in a Zulu township called Kwadangezi. It's about 30 minutes outside of Johannesburg, South Africa. We were literally living in a township where most of the people there did not have shoes. I mean, it was extreme poverty. And I think since visiting many times since, from an entrepreneurship standpoint, I think there was something fundamental to those experiences, because my sister's also an entrepreneur. She's the founder of a company called Anthill, based in Chicago as well. And they're doing very well. They just raised a big round of funding. And we always talk about like, how do we both get this sickness of entrepreneurship? Because there's a lot of glamour on the outside. There's no glamour on the inside. I'll tell you that. People think being your own boss is like an exciting, fun thing, because then maybe you wouldn't have to no, it's the opposite. It's the exact opposite. If you're your own boss, you're going to work way more. It's going to be way harder, way more stressful. But we had that exemplified in our family, the entrepreneurship team. I had, decided I wanted to do it. And I think what was important for me though was everyone has a lot of ideas. I needed an idea that was more than money. Because I think the more I've thought about this and had a lot of friends who've gone through this journey, and some have been successful and some have failed, I noticed that money and happiness is not perfectly correlated. And if you're building the business just to like get rich or something like that, I think when it gets really hard, it's easier to quit. I think if you're building it because you're like, I think this should exist, whether it's your business or mine, if you're like, you know what, I'm helping people, it's good for people. I had to find that idea. And once I found that, then it was like, where do I fit? And I think this is a question a lot of young entrepreneurs have. I'm a non-technical founder of a company, right? So you got to figure out, especially if you're starting a tech company, how are you valuable? And I met two incredible technical guys, Ruben and Arson. They've become incredible friends of mine. We've been doing this together for a while. We're brothers now. But when I came to them, I had to figure out what were the skills I was going to bring to the table. So I started learning user experience design, because I realized that was something I could bring, in addition to being able to sell and communicate and things like that and raise money. And, more recently, before I started TruePublic, I'd worked on a not-for-profit on the south side of Chicago. And that was kind of, in a small way, that was like my mini startup. I learned how to raise some money, hire a few people, like set it up, like create a website, like a lot of these like very basic things, the blocking and tackling of starting a business. It was great to learn that in a very organic way. And then it's just taking the leap. I mean, I had a job, and you can kind of just stand on the edge day after day, month after month. And I invested my personal savings into building essentially like a bootleg prototype of the app. It sucked. You would laugh if you saw it now. It looked horrible, but it was good enough for me to show my co-founders, literally, and convince them to join me, because those were the first people I had to sell on this idea. And then it was good enough to, get the company off the ground. So that was really the journey of this company. And